But let's start the morning with the man who is one half of the award-winning comedians Mitchell and Webb, and he's been a regular fixture on our screens for the past 6 years.
David Mitchell combines painfully realistic characters in Peep Show with sketch show favourites like Holmes and Watson in the BAFTA winning That Mitchell and Webb look.
Right, hello, excuse me. What the hell is going on here?
It's the Poirot-y sketch.
The Poirot-y sketch?
Yeah, that's what we're doing this morning. What's the problem?
I'll tell you what the problem is. You're playing both parts. So, we're a double act. There are two of us. How come you're playing the captain and the detective?
But it just so happens that captains and detectives are my thing. I play very high status and...
Oh, I don't believe this. It's egotistical, narcissistic. It's like you're using the show to act out some sick fantasy. Are you ready to rehearse the sex scene again? Yeah, just a minute.
And we welcome David Mitchell now. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
You and Robert have known each other for years now, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah, we met at university 1993, so ages, yeah.
In Cambridge, doing the Footlights,
That's
which is
right,
that
yeah.
breeding ground for all sorts of new comedy. And what good degrees did you actually waste?
Well, I was supposed to be doing history, he was supposed to be doing English. And, you know, we didn't fail, but, you know, I pity anyone who we were trying to teach history or English to now, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the two of you got together and started writing. And did you ever do your history or English? Did you ever use it at all?
I mean, I watch a lot of the History Channel now, and I feel better informed, you know. I really like history again now. I'm not supposed to be doing it. But, yeah, no, not really.
So you started your careers writing together?
Yes, straight. Well, we sort of pretended it was a job until people started to pay us and it actually became one.
Did you click straight away?
I think, yes, I thought he was funny from the start. We met in an audition and he was being very funny, and he was the year above me, so it was obviously, you know, much more important. I was intimidated by his earring, I remember.
Really?
I remember thinking, right, now I'm really meeting the urban youth.
Yes, he's really hard.
Yeah. But obviously now I know different. He's...
What was the audition for?
It was for a pantomime, Cinderella, yeah, and which we both ended up being in. Like a comedy pantomime,
yes, of course.
Not, you know.
So you joined up for Footlights for comedy and all that, and then did you join up for the politics club as well if you wanted to be Prime Minister?
I went along to the Cambridge Union Society, which was the politics club, and I sort of went along to a few of the kind of fresher events, and I didn't really like it at all. I thought everyone was a something you couldn't say on television at this time of day. So, unfortunately...
that was the end of the political career, was it?
That was it, yes. I didn't like the... You know, I said, these are not people I wish to socialise with, so...
Are any of those contemporaries now in power?
Not that I've particularly noticed, actually. I think maybe they're probably lurking in the sort of somewhere in the less important corridors of power, waiting for their moment. I think, you know, now might be their moment. There's going to be a big changing of the guard.
There's not many left over there now.
No, exactly, yeah.
We'll see a lot of new faces.
What was the first time you made any money out of writing, the pair of you?
I think like about a year and a half after I graduated, I think we were starting to get writing work, doing things like writing for Radio 4 stuff and a show on BBC 2 called Comedy Nation that was... broadcasted sort of in the middle of the night. So sort of year and a half in, I think we were starting to get bits of money. And I remember the point, after 2 years, I remember suddenly realising I'm earning a living doing this now.
That's not bad in only 2 years.
No, it was all right.
When did that Mitchell and Look Sound come about? Because that was the radio show, which is now...
that started about the same time as Peep Show, actually. So that was about 2003.
Yes.
Yeah, and we did a couple of series of that before going on to TV, but we're still doing that as well. In fact, we've just recorded a fourth series of the radio show. So
is the comedy now, and you know where we're going with this, the comedy now as good as it was in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s? Because John Cleese in The Telegraph was reported of saying comedy writers don't work as hard as they used to. The 60s and 70s and 80s were the least bad telly in the world, and that's not true anymore. Allegedly, that's what he's supposed to have said.
Well, I don't agree with that as much as, you know, he's, I think, one of the most brilliant comedians who's ever lived, and has done funnier things than almost anyone else will ever do. But I don't think he's right about people not working hard enough. And I think it's very easy. You only remember the hits from the 60s, 70s and 80s, and there was a lot of rubbish as well. You know, John Cleese wasn't involved in any of the rubbish, but it was there. And so I think now we're much more conscious. Obviously, there's good stuff and there's bad stuff, but that's always been the case. And I think in 20 years' time, when we're looking at the list of things from now that worked, that were funny, I think we'll realise this was as good a time as any of the decades preceding
Do you
it.
think that's unfair?
I think, yeah, but you don't know the context in which he said it. I don't, you know, it might have... That's exactly the sort of comment someone questioning him would want him to make, and then it gets quoted out of context. But my experience is certainly that, I mean, the comedy writers Sam Bain and Jesse Armstrong, who write Peep Show, they work incredibly hard, and I don't really believe that they would be working any harder if it was the 1970s.
How hard do you work?
I think I work quite hard, but I certainly don't want to.
Really?
My technique is to sort of take on more commitments than I really should, and then I find myself working hard despite myself. But there's no doubt, you know, left to my own devices, I'd do as little as possible. But then in a way I have been left to my own devices, so I don't know.
But then you've got Robert as well. As a writing partner, together you give each other a kick up the bum, I suppose, and you're writing a brand new series for the BBC called, is it Playing Shop?
Yes, yeah.
And comedy